Hello Earthlings and welcome to Moon Farming. I've picked this game up on Steam. I do not have any clue how it's possible to farm on the moon, but we're going to find that out today. This is the prologue, and they've said at the start here that this doesn't necessarily represent the final game, but let's give it a little try.
The moon. The brightest and largest object in our night sky. The moon makes Earth a more livable planet by moderating our home planet's wobble on its axis.
Well, I've just saved you the intro video there, which was at about 10 frames per second and was explaining to us what the moon was in case we had lived under a rock. And now we've been told that we're stuck here for the rest of our life.
I'm sure you were briefed on the reason you have to come to the moon for. But such a long time in the spaceship might have caused you to forget, so I'll give you a short briefing. You were sent here to build a colony for humans so that in the future we can populate and live on other planets and the moon. To accomplish this purpose you have to build a self-sustaining infrastructure that can manage the basic life support systems. You also need to collect enough resources such as food, water, oxygen and raw materials and store them. I know that you're only a farmer and most of the things I just talked about are not in your area of expertise. You'll have all the resources at your disposal, you just have to go through the tedious task of mining them and processing them into useful materials.
I love how we are already told that the game's going to be tedious before we start it.
We also have some other bases from older expeditions with some useful resources in them. Don't worry, the owning countries of other bases won't sue you for taking their stuff, in fact they volunteered their bases for the sake of humanity.
So hang on a minute, I'm here by myself, and everyone else from all the other countries had decided to leave, and rather than take an astronaut, you've brought one single farmer up here.
You were selected because you were one of the best farmers on Earth.
Still am?
Now then, let's get started. So, for all humans to survive on the moon, you will need to have basic stuff like water, air, and food. Correct? For that reason, we need to cover those needs. We have an old base not far from here. You can use a rover near you to drive to that old base. Don't worry, you can drive as fast as you... Oh, and you...
So this screen's just telling us that we've got to keep an eye on our meters to watch out for when we need to eat and run out of oxygen to breathe. Okay, I've got that, I understand. So there is good old Earth. And this is I assume the capsule that I just landed in by myself, I might add. And we've got to go over in this direction to get in the rover. And now we can see that we can only run for a certain period of time, and it kind of makes sense. We're in a spacesuit here, running over sharp rocks. And the bad news is, we've got over a kilometre to run here, or walk, to get to the rover. This does not fill me with confidence that we've managed to land here on the moon, but we've landed so far away from the rover and I have to do all this running. Well, I'll be back with you in a couple minutes when I finally get over to the rover.
2,000 years later.
Maybe when this comes to the real game, the developers will want to have this distance a little bit shorter, because this is kind of a little bit tedious over the most desolate terrain that you've ever seen. Unless you've been to Benidorm on holiday, of course. And finally, after what felt like forever, we're in sight of the rover. And you know what? It looks pretty decent. I had half imagined this was going to be a Range Rover broken down at the side of the road, but actually this looks pretty good. And someone's decided to leave it switched on for us, which is a little bit strange. It seems to be running with the lights on inside it. And look at this behind us here. This is some sort of a space station. I don't know if that's where we're going to be working from, but that looks pretty cool. So anyway, let's wave goodbye to Earth. Let's jump in this machine. Okay, so there's no internal view as far as I can tell. But what we've got to do now is reach the base. And is that the base over there, I wonder? Well, it's pointing over in this direction. Wait a second. Where did that place go? There it is. It was there after all. Oh, and it's gone. And it's back. Anyway, let's go along to our base. The electric motor on this sounds pretty awful. I recognise it. If you want to come to what looks like a cracked den with no beds and no toilets, and grow plants out of a suitcase on the moon by yourself, then I highly recommend this game.